Alabama executed convicted murderer Kenneth Eugene Smith with nitrogen gas, marking the first time the method of capital punishment has been used worldwide. Smith was found guilty in 1989 of murdering a preacher's wife, Elizabeth Sennett, in a killing for hire. Smith was one of 2 men found guilty of murdering Mrs. Sennett in March 1988 as part of a $1,000 killing for hire plan. Tonight Alabama causes humanity to take a step backwards. These were the words of Kenneth Eugene Smith before he was executed. 45-year-old Elizabeth Sennett was beaten with a fireplace implement and stabbed in the chest and neck, and her death was staged to look like a home invasion and burglary. At his trial, Smith admitted to being present when the victim was killed, but said he did not take part in the attack. According to prosecutor, Mrs. Sennett's husband was the mastermind behind the murder. He contracted with one of his tenants, Billy Gray Williams, to murder his wife for $3,000. Williams, in turn, hired John Parker and Kenneth Eugene Smith for $1,000 each to commit the murder. He was hoping to collect on her insurance as he was deeply in debt. After finding out that he was suspected of being involved in the murder, Charles Sennett Sr. killed himself on March 25, 1988. The execution began at 1953 local time and he was pronounced dead at 2025. Smith, 58, was put to death in a horrific 22-minute ordeal when a gas mask was placed over his face before a stream of 100% nitrogen gas suffocated him inside the execution chamber. Meanwhile, Billy Gray Williams died in prison while serving a life sentence, and John Forrest Parker was the first to be executed by lethal injection back in June 2010. Alabama and 2 other U.S. states have approved the use of nitrogen hypoxia as an alternative method of execution.
Nothing happened here today is going to bring Mom back. It's kind of a bittersweet day. We're not going to be jumping around, hooping and hollering, hooray and all that. That's not us. But we're glad this day is over. You know, the Bible says that evil deeds has consequences. And Kenneth Smith made some bad decisions 35 years ago. And his debt was paid tonight.
This is Commissioner John Kingham, H-A-M-M. Things over there on the left, our media witnesses are mostly on the left.
Smith was pronounced deceased by physicians at 8:25 p.m. Central Standard Time. Heard that one Smith was holding his breath as long as he could, and then there's also information out there he struggled against his restraints a little bit, but there's some involuntary movement and some agonal breathing, so that was all expected and is in the side effects that we've seen or researched on nitrogen hypoxia. So nothing was out of the ordinary what we were expecting.
It's kind of a bittersweet day. We're not going to be jumping around, hooping and hollering, hooray and all that. That's not us.